Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video looking back on this last year for my final video of 2019, and it feels crazy that it's going to be 2020. It just sounds so weird, and this has been a pretty crazy year, especially the start of this year. In early January we moved from Yorkshire to the north of Scotland. I say the north of Scotland, you can go a lot higher, but we're in Aberdeenshire now, so the transition from moving somewhere we'd never moved house before, a whole lot to think about and just so much change, so that was pretty hectic but also quite exciting. Then we had to book the pets in for boarding. We had to take most of the animals a few days before we would probably move in, just because we couldn't take them all on the day. It wasn't really best for them, and we wanted them to be like as least stressed out as possible really, so we decided to take them into boarding. So we took them up a few days prior to actually moving, and they went in a few separate different boarding places. We just tried to find the most suitable for each animal so they would be most content and settled and it would be least stressful for them. So that was a lot of travelling to drop them off for boarding and then travelling back the same day. I think we stayed in a B&B, so maybe it was a couple of days after or something like that, but it was still a lot of travelling. Then when we got back, it was a case of just getting all the last few bits sorted out. I still had the guinea pigs with me. The guinea pigs did stay in boarding, but the other guinea pigs we just moved on the day, and Vinny obviously stayed with us as well because he would have hated being in kennels, so he also stayed with us at home. So yeah, the moving day was pretty stressful. Obviously things don't always go to plan. There were some issues getting access to the house on that night, so we had to stay in another B&B place somewhere kind of close by just until we got given proper access to the house.
So currently in Morrison's car park. So a little update, it's actually now 4:15. Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that we're probably going to have to stay in an Airbnb tonight, just because we can't get access to the house until at least tomorrow. The guinea pigs are actually at the house we're moving to. They're in an outbuilding. There were some problems yesterday with us actually physically moving in there, but the guinea pigs were able to stay in the outbuilding.
The next day we were able to move in. We had the camper van luckily, so we had somewhere to sort of stay during the day whilst the house was getting unpacked and all the, you know, unloading, the moving lorries and everything were here. And yeah, that was the first time we got to properly look around, see all the outbuildings and just get a feel for the place really, because obviously I've been before to look around, but that was probably getting to know the house and getting to know what it's like, and super exciting. So much to do though, and I was so worried about all the animals because I didn't have all of them with me and I was missing them, so that was quite stressful, but I knew they were in good hands, so that was all good. Also, when we first moved here we had no Wi-Fi, we didn't have a working telephone, and what else, the TV wasn't working, so we didn't really have no internet or anything. So when I was uploading videos I had to go to like a local library, upload there, which was fine for a while, but it was really tricky because I wanted to start my business back straight away. Obviously with my shop and everything I had to close when we move in, but I wanted to get started as soon as possible, so that was quite stressful not being able to do that. So there was a place near Ellen where the rabbit stayed. There was a place in Aberdeen where all the other pets were, apart from Jasper who was in a local cattery. And yeah, we went to go pick all them up. I think my mum collected Jasper, me and my dad got the others, and I'd just had to set up some temporary spaces for them. The rabbits were in a little shed that was already here. The gerbils cages I gradually built, you know, in time, so it took a while to get everything set up. Nothing was like perfect to start with by any means. And then not long after, my dad made this setup for the guinea pigs, and this was just made out of materials we already had. It was a really great setup for them, especially as they'd not been in the best setup for quite a while. So we finally got them a really nice homemade setup, so that was done in January also. So I was also trying to get back into doing my business as soon as I could. There was an outbuilding which I had in mind to get going with the business. It was obviously really cold and it was hard work out there, especially as nothing was set up, you know, to be for a working business. I just had to make do.
It's very tricky because I also don't have access to Wi-Fi, so we can't work our printer at the minute, which is a real shame, but that's just the way it is for the minute. Obviously I can still get the products out there and in the bags.
Early February we got a new aviary for the rabbits. My dad worked a lot on that, my mum helped him as well, so that was awesome. We got that put in the stable and they could then move out of that little shed and into a proper big aviary. So it took a while to get to a place where they could probably move in, and it also took a while before I set it up all nice and natural for them, but just to have that space for them was amazing, and was just really impressed with how they'd done on that. They did such a good job of it, and yeah, it was really worth doing that. Again, February was more a time of just getting to know the area a bit, exploring the local area, the local places, just seeing the beaches and everything, and settling in. Also just settling more into my business and getting used to running it from here. I think by now we had proper Wi-Fi, could print things properly, I could upload, so it was a little bit less stressful. I feel like not too much happened in March. It was, again, still settling in, still early days, still trying to improve on the setups. I'd gradually got all the gerbil Laola habitats set up, so they were all in nice spacious homes now. I can't remember when I did that exactly, but I know by March they were, you know, pretty much all in those setups. Sadly, we also lost Bramley this month as well, which was, it wasn't a shock so much. He was an elderly guinea pig, he'd had a really long, lovely life, but obviously it was sad to see him go, having had him for so long. And yeah, this did affect the girls in the next month. In April, I had to separate the guinea pigs. We had Hazel and Miffy together for a bit, and Panda and Tea Cake, because Panda was being really aggressive. She then started being aggressive towards Tea Cake, so it didn't really help splitting them in the pairs. So I ended up just taking out Panda, putting the other three girls together. They'd had a male with them for so long, so it was a real shock for them to suddenly settle into being an all-female group, which is when I started looking online, seeing if I could find any neutered males, which I was incredibly lucky to find one. They're so few and far between, and we found one within driving distance. It was all the way down near Dunfermline, so it was a long way to drive.
The sky looks really nice.
We then adopted a neutered male called Angus and a little girl named Isla. So it was honestly such a relief to have them and made such a difference to the herd. We did a split cage for a while, which straight away started to work with the girls, and then later on we'd probably bonded them in a neutral territory. Then moved them back in, and honestly it didn't go totally smoothly. Bonding doesn't always go smoothly, especially when you've got a lot of them. It can be quite hard with all the different personalities and getting that hierarchy sorted, but in the end it all worked out great and they were a happy herd and back to being settled, which was great. In April I was also contacted by a lady who could no longer look after her 9 guinea pigs, also who lived in Aberdeenshire, and because I had the space now and I really wanted to help out, I started preparing for these 9 guinea pigs and I just wanted to give them a home because I knew they were really loved, and it was just unfortunate circumstances which meant she couldn't look after them anymore. So I'd created a setup and built them this nice large pen, which we were then able to collect them in May.
I've just got the new guinea pigs that I have rehomed, and there is 9 of them.
So that was really exciting, getting the 9 new guinea pigs, getting them settled in. A lot of them were quite shy at first, but they really started to come out of their shell as time went on. We also really sadly lost Hazel in this month, and Hazel wasn't quite as old as Bramley, so she was a lot younger unfortunately, and we'd had her quite a while, but still don't know to this day what happened, but was real shock actually, because I just walked in one morning without no symptoms or anything. It was just a total shock. Not a good day. In June I kind of started to explore the local area more and, you know, really get out there and actually start, you know, getting out of the house. I'm quite bad for just, you know, settling in and just staying in a lot. Well, it was May that I met my boyfriend, and June was kind of spent just exploring the area, seeing what was out there, going to cities, going out places, beaches, and it was just a great summer really.
Oh, he's coming to say hi.
In July, we bonded all of the 14 guinea pigs together, and I decided that rather than having 2 separate herds, which was quite hard to manage, a lot of cleaning, a lot of work, it would be more sensible to just have them all together if they would be happy with that. And I decided to just go ahead with it, and it went amazing. Like, I never had a bonding so easy. The new girls we got are so lovely and sweet anyway, so they were pretty easy. But obviously there was the initial sort of dominance, which is totally normal, but yeah, went way better than any bonding I'd ever done before, especially for the amount we had. And now I have a lovely group of guineas, which is so nice to have such a large herd. I've never had a herd this big before, so really exciting. Also in July I were able to move the skinny pigs into this cage so they could have a nice big enclosure, because they'd been stuck in a not so great cage for so long, and it was nice to finally give them a proper big setup. Now that the others had moved out and they were in a bigger setup, the skinny pigs could move in here, which was great. In August I decided to swap around the rabbits and the guinea pigs. I just felt like the guinea pigs, I couldn't give them the whole room in the next outbuilding, just because you can't necessarily let guinea pigs roam as free as rabbits. It's a bit more difficult to give them the whole setup and all the little corners and having to block things off. It just wasn't really ideal. So I decided the aviary up at the top, which the rabbits room, would be better for the guinea pig herd, and the rabbits would be really well suited to the next outbuilding, especially with the levels and stuff in there. They were able to use them, whereas the guinea pigs couldn't use them. It would just have to be used for storage. So I went ahead with the swap, which was quite a hectic day. There was a lot of work for the time I had, but it worked out really well. I was really happy with the setups, and still to this day really glad I did that, because they're much better suited where they are now, and I think it just works so much better for them. I felt like the next 2 months nothing really that eventful happened. You know, again, it was just the same usual, my business, doing videos and exploring the area. Nothing like major events really happened, just kind of, you know, the usual. So October I got my new workshop, which I've been so looking forward to. It was quite hard working out in the outbuilding. During the summer it was absolutely fine, but I was dreading the winter because I just know it would be so cold in the next outbuilding. So to have a proper space to work, which was able to store all my ingredients under one roof and have this shed which could just be used for everything to do with the workshop, was amazing. And I am so thankful to have this, because it's really helped, especially this winter. It's been we've had a lot of cold, and it's just been a really good space to be able to work, and I just find it so much easier having everything, all the ingredients stored under one place. November, unfortunately, we lost one of our skinny pigs. This had kind of been gradual. He'd gradually sort of lost condition, but again, I'm not going to go into much detail. I've done a video on this in the past, but we did lose Dandy this month, unfortunately. With Dandy being brothers with Beano, I had to really think quick, because Beano had never been alone his whole life. He'd always had Dandy, and it really affected him. He started acting really weird, isolating himself. He just wasn't himself at all, so I had to move one of the other guineas inside. I picked Tea Cake because she wasn't so close with the others, and also her weight was quite low to be outdoors in winter. Some other reasons I chose to move her indoors, but that was the main one. So I put them in a split cage, because obviously Beano's male, Tea Cake's female. I don't want babies. So they're in a split cage, which you can see right now. They're still doing amazing side by side. I do have plans to sort of come up with a better arrangement for them in the new year. thinking about neutering as well, so we'll see how that goes. And it's now December, which is crazy. We've also just had a playpen built for Vinny. He can't be let off his lead, so to have a safe space for him to properly get off his lead is really great. Also, I've not really spoken much about Jasper throughout this, but Jasper has absolutely, like, he's in his element here. So much wildlife for him. He loves the woods, he loves all the wildlife, and you know, it's so enriching for him. He's honestly living his best life out here. It's a lot to get a whole year into one video, but I feel like I've just kind of picked up the main bits. So I hope you all have a great Christmas, great New Year, and just enjoy the holidays if you don't celebrate. So yeah, I'll see you guys in 2020, which sounds so weird to say.